it had been so long since we'd done it, I wasn't sure it would work again. And so I called up about a half a dozen promoters that I know back in the US, and I said, all right, well, what do you think? You think it'll work? And they all said, yeah, it's perfect, great, gotta do it, go for it. Until I got to the last guy. And he says, okay, so you're gonna do this album in its entirety, right? And I said, yep. He says, but you are gonna do it in chronological order, just the way it is on the album, right? And I said, no. And he says, you have to. And I said, no, I don't. He says, yeah, you do. I said, no, I don't. He says, yeah, you do. No, I don't. Yeah, you do. This goes on 10 minutes. So finally, he says, all right, let me give you something maybe you can understand. Somehow, some way, a miracle happens, and Led Zeppelin gets back together. And they're going to do Zeppelin 4 in its entirety. Are they going to start that show with Stairway to Heaven? I said, all right, you got me by the balls, so we're going to do it the way you want it, because we are!